Hi everyone, Gemma here, thanks for watching today. In this video I'm going to be making a birthday card using the premium magazine kit from PinkFresh Studios. So it's a really lovely kit, I'll just go through it with you now. So you've got the magazine which has 75 ideas for you to try. Some really nice inspiration, and in the centre of the magazine we've got this pattern paper, some really nice bright spring colours, florals, butterflies, some cut aparts. It's a really nice one. So the inspiration for today's make is taken from this card here by Nicky Gilburt. I really like the colour palette that she's chosen, so I want to recreate the flowers and the leaves in the same colours, but I've changed the card base. So then you've got this really lovely 3-piece stamp set. Hope you can see that okay. I am getting a little bit of glare from my light. As I said, it's 3 pieces, so all the flowers and the leaves are in one stamp, and then you've got 2 separate sentiments. We've then got this happy birthday die and a shadow die as well, so that's a really nice one. And then to accompany the stamp we have this 5-piece stencil kit. So I'll just flip this over so you can see. So these are the stamped images, and then you use the stencils to colour them in, so you've got this really nice shadow effect. And as you stamp your image, everything lines up and you just colour it in one. So it's a really quick way to get those images coloured if you don't like using alcohol markers or watercolours or any other medium. For the card base, I've cut a piece of 11 by 7. Along the 11-inch side, we're going to score at 3.5, 4.5, 6.5, 7.5. So this then will fold down to a 7 by 7 card base. Then for the mats and layers, I have 2 pieces of 3.25 by 6 3/4. One piece of 1 3/4 by 6 3/4, and 2 pieces of 3/4 of an inch by 6 3/4. Next, I have this pink cardstock that measures 3 by 6.5, so you want 2 pieces of that. One piece of 1.5 by 6.5, and 2 pieces of 1/2 inch by 6.5. Then lastly I have this pattern paper which is 2 3/4 by 6 1/4, so 2 pieces of that. One piece of 1 1/4 by 6 1/4, and 2 pieces of 1/4 inch by 6 1/4. So to create a topper, I've used the Creative Craft Products Notched Edge Square Nestables, and I've die cut 1 in green and 1 in white. I've also dry embossed the white panel with the Textures Quintessential Quilting Embossing Folder, and I thought this really picked up on the pattern in the pattern paper, so it sort of continues that design throughout. Starting from the left to right, the first fold is a valley fold. The next fold is a mountain fold. Next is also a mountain fold. And then the last score line is a valley fold. So the card will fold flat like so, and then it'll open up, so you've got this pop out panel there, and it'll stand up like this. So I've got my card base, then my white cardstock, then the pink, and then the pattern paper, and I'm going to get that attached now to my card base, and then I'll come back to you. So I've just added the topper on there, I've placed it in the centre, and as I said, I've added some foam adhesive to that, so it all falls flat we're going to have some dimension now with the flowers and the leaves, but you should still be able to get that in a standard envelope. So I'm going to set that to one side and we're going to work on the flowers and the leaves. So I've already gone ahead and I've stamped my flowers and leaves. So as I said, this is all one stamp, so I just popped it in my stamping platform and stamped that in one go. I use Memento Tuxedo black ink. The reason I use that is I find that it's not as sharp as a VersaFine, for example, and I didn't want it to be a crisp black line. I wanted it more muted, so that's why I use the Memento. So based on the inks that Nicky used, I have the Saltwater Taffy and the Worn Lipstick for the flowers, Speckled Egg and Cracked Pistachio for the leaves, and then I'm not sure what ink Nicky used, but I bought in Brushed Corduroy then for some of the stems. So I'm going to show you how quick and simple this is to use. So I'm just going to line my stencil up. Now I would imagine that this is based on you just place it over the whole image, but I think I got my stamping slightly off, so I have to move the image around a bit to make sure that I get the correct placement. I'm just going to put a small amount of ink now on my finger dauber and I'm going to place it over the flower and just colour that in. So I'm going to do the same then with this one. So I don't want to go too heavy on the ink. So as I said, I'm just lining it up to the image and colouring it in. You can tape the stencil down if you wish, but I'm just holding it with my hand and that's worked out fine for me so far. So there's all my flowers coloured in quite quickly. I'm just going to flip the card around and do exactly the same on this side. So that's the flowers coloured in on that side. Next I'm going to do the leaves. So again, you just line it up with the image. For the bottom layer I'm using just a small amount of ink. What you have left on your dauber should be fine. So again, working my way along, lining up the image with a stencil. Just be mindful that they are sort of close together. So you just want to concentrate and keep sort of in line with the current image that you're stenciling. So there's all the leaves coloured in. I'm going to flip it over and do exactly the same on the opposite side. Next I'm going to work on the branches or the stems. So this little bit here goes in the centre of the flower. So I thought this was a nice colour because it's got a slight yellow undertone, so I thought that would work nicely with the flowers. So again, I'm just doing the same thing, lining it up with the image and colouring it in. Flipping it over and doing exactly the same on the opposite side. So this is when we'll start to see things come together. So we're doing the shadow element of the flowers now. So same process as previous, just line it up. I like to do just one flower at a time. so I know that it's exactly aligned to the image. Now I like to go a little bit more heavy-handed with the ink on this layer. So whereas before I was dabbing off some excess so I could get a light coverage, now I'm just going straight in from the ink pad to my cardstock. So look how lovely that turns out. I really like this stencil colouring. So I'm going to do exactly the same again on the opposite side, and I'll come back to you. And I'm doing the final stage now. We're finishing off the shadow pieces to the leaves and stems. So there's the shadow completed on the leaves, and I'm just going to flip it round and do exactly the same again. So there's my images all coloured in. What you can do now is fussy cut these out if you like. I'm not a fan of fussy cutting. I don't think I'm very good at it. So I prefer the easier option of using my brother's scan and cut. So I'm going to send that through the machine now, and then I'll end up with several pieces that look like this. So I've got that nice edge, and I think he'll cut it a lot faster than I can. So I'll just go ahead and do that now, and I'll come back to you. So there's all my elements cut and ready to decorate the card. So this is the fun part. This is what I like to do. It's just this decoration part. So all I'm going to do is just do a dry run of how I want things placed. I've got my hot glue gun by the side of me, and I'm just going to start, once I'm happy with the placement, I'm just going to start attaching things then to where I'd like them to be. I think this is a really lovely flower stamp and stencil set. So I've got this happy birthday as well, which I cut using the die that's included in the kit. So I think I'm going to have that on the top and the bottom there. So I think I'm sort of happy with that placement. So I'm just going to pop you on high speed now and get everything attached. So I've just finished off the decoration, and now I'm going to add the finishing touch with some Nuvo Jewel drops, and this is the Aquaplanes. Took me a while to find that then. This dries translucent, so it'll have that hint of colour. I think it matches really nicely with this. So off to the side of me, I just checked that there was no air in the bottle. And I'm just gonna add a few drops around the outside now of the flowers. So there's the final card. I won't lift it up because I don't want to move it about too much because of the Nouveau drops. But I have to say I'm absolutely in love with the colour palette on this card. And those flowers are just absolutely stunning. It comes together so quickly with that stencil. And the shadow effect is really nice. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Any products used in today's video will be listed in the description box below. If you've enjoyed today's video, you might want to hit the like button, leave a comment, or consider subscribing to the channel. If you do subscribe, don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future tutorials. Once again, thanks for watching today, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!